Hey friends, Russ here, having more Daisy Lever gun fun. Today we're out in the workshop looking at something that I think maybe some of you have not seen yet. In the realm of the folded metal triggers, this is one that we're used to seeing on a lot of the guns. And we've showed this before. A little dirt on my finger. This is a folded one-piece trigger, and it sets in the against the stock with a single spring that goes on this little tab back here, and that keeps the trigger from falling forward whenever you're cocking the gun and setting the back of the plunger assembly into this little notch. Okay, now this is a model that's a little bit different. What I have standing up over here is a 105 buck. This has the new trigger assembly in it, the plastic with the different levers and springs and so forth. But if you'll notice on both sides of this, there's nothing on the receiver that works as a safety. The safety is down here. The little crossbolt safety is down here behind the trigger. So push it that way, the gun's in safe. You push it away, and the trigger could be pulled for the gun to fire. That's the newer type. There was a time whenever Daisy started putting on a couple of different models, and here's a little 1105. Okay, this lever, and I've seen, or button, I guess you would call it, I've seen these on other models also. It says safe whenever it's back here. It says fire whenever it's in the forward position. And so if you want to keep the gun in safe, you have to keep this back. When you're ready to pull the trigger, you thumb it forward and you give it the old bang bang. So what is different about the insides of this gun? Since it does not have the crossbolt safety on the trigger back here, there has to be changes made inside of the gun. And let me see if I can pull it around here. And we're going to move our camera back a little bit and get a light. I like to use this little bore light. Where are you? Oh my goodness gracious. Here we go. There we are. Can you see that in there? Little bar going across here. That's hooked onto that safety. And I'm going to push the safety, see if you can see it move here. Whoops. See it? It's not too clear, but you can actually see it moving. To be able to make that work, they had to change the trigger assembly. So even though they were using a folded steel trigger, they had to redesign what it had. It had the little sear notch on a separate sear lever in here. And if you look, these triggers are in two totally different shapes, two totally different mounting spots. Everything is really different. If I can line them up like that, they look almost similar. But because of the safety bar would be back and not permit you to pull the trigger. The safety bar would be forward, then you could pull the trigger. But because the trigger assembly and the sear assembly are on two separate, say, pivots, what you end up with is a stock that needs to have two separate springs. One spring would engage one notch or one little tab, the other spring would engage the other one like that. Okay. And this is the actual stock that came off of this 1105. On the back of it, it has the little safety tab, safety info and so forth, and how to operate the gun. This one's actually in pretty good shape. I took this one apart because I needed to use it for a parts gun. It wasn't working real well, but the parts that I needed were in there and working just fine. So there you have it. This is the slide safety on the receiver that they used on some of the guns, and because of its configuration, it had to have a different trigger type. So they developed this. Wasn't used on a whole lot of them, and it wasn't used forever. They went from there to the type of trigger assembly with a crossbolt safety, and they no longer had to worry about this. I've seen these malfunction. I've seen these that have been dislodged inside the gun. So apparently, as many things, it seemed like a good idea at the time, but there was something waiting in the wings to actually make it work better. Here it is, folks. If you have any questions, don't forget to subscribe, leave a message, give me a thumbs up. If you've run into any problems or any solutions for any of these that have not worked properly, hey, give me a statement and we'll talk about it. All right, talk to you later. Stay safe. Have a great day.